So, being partners and parents at the same time, it's a bit like walking a tightrope, right? Balancing all the demands while keeping that connection alive. I remember Saturdays and evenings, Cameron had tutoring, basketball practice, and my schedule was already jammed getting off from the library at 6 o'clock. Kelly, you were on one of your long nursing shifts from 7 to 7.
Oh, yeah, I remember those days. Shoot, we're still living them. With you working some of the same weekends that I do, your job not closing until 6, and after school wants you to be there by 6:30. It has been a lot of those days, honey. There were not enough hours in a day, and honestly, it felt like neither of us could breathe steady until we just got through it somehow. But God,
And we did, though, barely. I mean, Camren and Brianna were doing their best, and 10 minutes after we would get in the car, I would look in the rearview mirror and I'd see their little eyes closed. Oh, it was draining on them too. I was thinking about your shift and hoping you had managed to eat something at least. I remember texting you in the middle of it like, hey, you holding up?
yeah, and those messages, they matter so much. It's not just about surviving the day, it's about those little check ins, making sure we're both still okay, even when it's chaotic.
Exactly. It's those moments where we lean on each other, even from a distance. Like I handled practice that day, but when we got home, I was frustrated because Brianna wanted help with her homework, and I was so fried from everything. And man, you just jumped right in, took over.
Mm-hmm. But it's teamwork, Jerry. That's the thing. We got to remind each other we're a team. I it's not you win, I lose. When Cameron and Brianna see that, they learn what it means to really prioritize family. It's bigger than just getting tasks done.
And let's be honest, we don't always get it perfectly. Parenting partnership is messy sometimes. Like you and I, we sometimes clash on approaches.
Oh, for sure. Like the discipline thing. You tend to be more structured. Some might call it strict, but I see your perspective. That's how kids learn boundaries. I know they respect Red Ruly, and your family had no problem getting a switch from the backyard. But rarely ever have we had to do that. We have very good kids. I'm more what? Exploratory? Like, let's talk this out first.
That's fair. I feel like I focus on the strong male role, the power figure in the household. Not that I want them to be afraid of me, but that tremble of respect. Have them thinking in the back of their mind that dad is in the room now. So there will be not playing around and getting into mischief. But hey, the key is respect and knowing right from wrong. Same for you too, I hope.
I do. It's not always easy. But yeah, we found ways to blend it. Like when Cameron was pushing back about when his grades fell and he wanted to play Fortnite on the weekends. You suggested consequences we both agreed on. So it wasn't just mom said this or dad said that. Unified front.
Right. And I think what shows them more than anything is seeing us resolve our stuff. Cameron learned that what daddy and mommy said goes. He sat in the corner of the couch on Saturdays while Brianna was on her phone and could play her games freely. You got to learn, bruh. They also see how we handle disagreements, how we trade off responsibilities, and honestly, it strengthens us too.
Yeah. And I mean, every day we figure it out together. I think what keeps it solid is the respect, the understanding we're working towards the same goals. Like we're just trying to raise good human beings who feel loved and supported, but also accountable.
And doing it while still showing up for each other as partners, not just as mom and dad. Like taking care of us helps us take care of them. That balance is everything. You know, what we've been learning as parents and partners really comes into play when we think about the future. Like when it comes to building wealth, I mean, generational wealth, it's not just about earning money, right? It's teaching Camren and Brianna what it means to manage, to respect it. Like, what does saving really look like for an 8-year old or a 10-year old? It's a challenge, but it's also an incredible opportunity.
Right? Because they don't teach this in schools, especially not for us. And let's be real, systemic barriers have always made it harder for Black families to build wealth, let alone pass it down. So we have to start early. We have to make it something they can understand and engage with.
Exactly. Like just the other day, Cameron asked me why we have to pay bills. And I mean, that turned into this whole family conversation about how money works. We sat down and I showed him how budgeting is basically like planning for a big trip, mapping out where the money's going before you spend it. He seemed to get it, kind of.
He totally got it. Come on, Jerry. I honestly love that early on when I first met you, that you were talking about stocks, dividend funds, and cryptocurrency. I was so impressed. This man isn't just talking about Kobe Bryant and when the new Jordans are coming out. The kids guard their piggy banks and money jars.
Yeah, I admit that when I first started day trading stocks, then finding real value in buying them weekly and holding on to them for generational wealth really made the light bulb come on over my head. Now, Cameron and Brianna come to me every week asking how much money is in their savings accounts. They actually get excited to give me money that their aunts and uncles give them to put in their bank savings.
Yes, they are. Thank you, honey, for doing all of that. I know that you lost a lot of money in the process of learning how to be profitable in these markets, but you've gained way more back than you've lost. When it comes to their savings, they can see the progress and it becomes their choice to save because you've taught them about the monthly interest. That's empowering, you know? It gives them this sense of ownership over their goals.
Exactly, babe. That's why they ask to see their account every month because they know that it will automatically be more than the last time that they looked at it. And I think another layer to it, and this is huge, Kelly. I mean, we've talked about this, is teaching them why it's important, like the history behind why it's been harder for our families to build wealth. I want them to understand that it's not just about making money, but breaking cycles.
Oh, yeah, breaking cycles is the key, but we don't want them feeling the weight of it. You know, it's about equipping them so they can walk into adulthood confident, not overwhelmed. And for us, it's also about how we lead by example. When they see us sitting down to plan or being intentional about where our money goes, that's their baseline.
Yeah, and you know, I think seeing us talk about it openly, it's such a shift from how money was always this uh, almost like a taboo topic when we were growing up. We're kind of rewriting the playbook here.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just about saving or budgets. It's also showing them the bigger picture. Things like credit, investments, even how to give back. I mean, Brianna, that girl already wants to start her own business.
She's ambitious. I love that about her. And Cameron, he's already thinking about how basketball scholarships, track scholarships, because he's so fast. This might play into his plans after hearing us talk about college savings and NIL deals. That's big money to let it just sit and grow. It's these little seeds we plant, you know?
Definitely. And we just keep watering them. I think the goal isn't just wealth, it's freedom for them to live fully, to pursue their dreams. And it starts here in these small day-to-day lessons. You know, when I think about how we try to empower Camren and Brianna, not just with lessons about money, but in life, It ties back to our spirituality too, like those nightly prayers we share together, going to Sunday and Wednesday service at Bethlehem City of Faith. It's not just about faith, it's about grounding us as a family and reminding us we're connected no matter what kind of day we've had.
Yeah. Those prayers, we believe in God. Jesus is the reason we live, breath, and thrive. This sets the rhythm for us. I mean, even on my toughest days, hearing them pray and the noonday prayer calls that we have with our church family really helps our lives. It makes me pause and reflect on what really matters.
Oh, definitely. And it's not just for them, it's for us too. It's that space where we all come together, even if the day has been chaos. And the questions they ask during those moments, whew, they can be deep.
Deep is an understatement. Remember that Sunday school lesson Cameron came back from? He came into the living room, plopped down on the couch and just said, "Dad, if God made us, who made God?" I mean, how do you even start unpacking
Oh,
that?
I remember that. And oh my gosh, you gave him that whole metaphor about a writer creating characters in a book. That was brilliant.
Thanks. I mean, I think it clicked for him in a way, but it's those moments that make me realize how important our role is in shaping their spiritual journey. You know, we're not just teaching them what to believe, we're teaching them how to think about what they believe.
Exactly. And honestly, faith gives us a framework for some of these harder conversations, too. When we talk to them about resilience, about being Black in a world that doesn't always value us, it's spirituality that helps us root those discussions in hope and not just, well, struggle.
Hope, yeah, that's key. Is what I think about when we have those moments where we turn to ancestral guidance, telling them about where we came from and why our stories matter. It's about showing them they're part of something bigger, something strong.
Absolutely. And it's not always perfect. There'll be moments they question things, moments they resist, but to me, that's part of faith too. Wrestling with it, growing with it. The important thing is that connection we built stays strong.
Yeah, and teaching them that faith isn't static, it evolves. I want them to see it as a source of strength as they navigate whatever life throws at them. Like Cameron asking those big questions. I love that. They're thinking, they're processing. That shows we're doing something right.
And it gives us a sense of purpose as parents, too. I mean, guiding them spiritually is one of the most important responsibilities we have. When they know who they are and where they come from, faith becomes armor, and not just for them, but for us all.
Couldn't have said it better myself. At the end of the day, spirituality isn't just something we practice, it's something that shapes how we live and love every day. And I think that's a gift worth passing on.
Definitely. And that's the foundation we're building every single day with each prayer, each conversation, and every bit of love we pour into them.
And that's all for today. Great talking as always, Kelly, my wife, my love, my partner for life. Until next time.
For sure. I love you with all my heart. See you next time.